Greetings, salutations, bienvenidos, bienvenue. It is time for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We burn things down around here, mainly garbage and refuse. You know what I'm saying? All of the terrible things that are holding people down and holding people back, honestly, from living their best lives generationally without a doubt. So we want those things to go away. And if all we can do is shout, scream, make our voices heard and elevated, then that's what we'll do. That's it. You know, the time for Molotov throwing will arrive. The time for all the crazy shit will arrive. In the meantime, we move on YouTube and Twitch. Hello. So anyway, welcome everybody to the program. I've got a good show in store for you, and it's a contrast of the way that racism is so deeply embedded into our country. It definitely infects both of the primary political parties. But the stories I have for you tonight come from my home state of Maryland, where some goofy things have transpired. And a state that I actually used to live in and spend some time in Missouri, out there in Missouri. And the way that the racism is just it hits a little different depending on the region of the country that you are in. But both there are politicians running in races. Maybe I'm being a little generous by calling this person out of Missouri a politician, but they aspire to be a politician. Anyway, this white guy in Missouri is an honorary Klansman, and the Republican state party is perplexed that this person is actually on the Republican primary ballot for governor, and they're trying to kick him off. I'm like, but why? He seems like y'all's kind of fellow. Why do you want to get rid of him? I would like to look at that story. And then out of Maryland, y'all, believe it or not, the Maryland Senate race is in play. Who the fuck knew? Maryland has been blue from a congressional perspective, almost 100% blue, but not with one goof. Well, they're all goofy, but one Republican exception, one goofy Republican exception. But nonetheless, the former Republican governor here, Larry Hogan, has thrown his hat in the ring for the Senate race, and it turns out this motherfucker stands a chance of winning. And he was given a bit of a boost because the leading Democrat primary contender for Maryland Senate, this Senate seat that's being vacated by Ben Cardin, who's retiring, this goofy motherfucker, the would-be Democrat, just dropping racial slurs at the House Budget Committee, sir. When I tell y'all, I cackled for 5 straight minutes. 5. I'm not going to even tell y'all the racial slur. Hopefully y'all haven't seen this yet. And don't go look the shit up. I want y'all to be surprised. Will had not heard it, so I want Will to be surprised when he hears it too. But it's just the ways in which even I would imagine liberal-minded, progressive-minded white folks believe themselves not to be racist. Maybe they're not even racist, but I don't see how this racist language is even in the front of your cerebral cortex, where it is just waiting in the back of your molars to spring forward off of your tongue. How could you not be racist and be thinking racial slurs? I have questions. That's why I tell all of our white friends, you can't just not be racist. You definitely can't be colorblind. Please, you guys know better than to say or do goofy things like that. That colorblind shit ain't where it's at. No, you got to be anti-racist, like against firmly. I'm here for relearning and unlearning. You know what I mean? And you got to tell the rest of the whites that y'all have to tell the rest of the whites that colorblind shit is bullshit. I don't see color because, what if, people could be red, green, and purple, and yellow, and orange. bitch, tell me when. They had signs up in the bathroom that says purple people only. You know what I'm saying? For the purple people only water fountains. Where was the orange people only water fountains? Like, miss me with that goofy shit. And I don't see color bullshit because that's what it is. But I digress. Hold on. I'm getting off topic. Let me say hi. Can I shout out a couple people real quick? What's up, Patrick S? Thank you so much for your Cash App support. What's up, Maddie Frank? Thank you so much for your support as well. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. We need it. So thank you all who have run support, who continue to support. The support is beautiful and lovely, and we love it. So thank you guys so much for that. Who is in the building? Let me count the folks. Oh, what's up to Latif? What's going on to our wonderful, wonderful mods? What's up, lovely lady? 37, 17. Thank you so much for making the time. We appreciate it. We'd love to welcome our new folks here to the Fire Fan Peace Infinite Content. Thank you so much for making the time. Damien Stoner Loner, our friend from across the pond. Thank you so much, Damien. Afraid Not, good Donnie, our friend from up Jersey. Holly, what's going on? Thank you so much, baby girl. If Holly is here, you know Wendy is in here. So thank you so much, Wendy, in advance, even though I haven't officially come across your name. What's up, Steve Dub? Thank you so much. Appreciate the folks coming out. What's up, librarian? Thank you so much for making the time. That is what's up. Who else is in here? Tyler, of course, my son. Dig it, dig it, dig it. Shout out to the good sis Courtney. What's up, 40J Blaze? Thank you so much. Anyway, y'all, hit like and shit, hit subscribe and shit, and do all the good shit, please, and thank you. I want to thank you all for rocking with the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. We had an amazing show on Thursday. The full range. It was lovely. I really enjoyed being there with everybody. Shout out to Warren Aura. What's up, Warren Aura? I knew you was in here, Wendy. I'm telling you, you and Holly sit back to back in the same room because y'all get here at the same time. It's wonderful. I appreciate that. Maddie, thank you so much for being in here. So anyway, yeah, follow and subscribe. Who is that? CE? Thank you so much for coming in here. Oh, so Celestine, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you guys supporting Black Power Media, supporting the Remix Morning Show. You know, the show continues to grow. And have I ever worked at a job for 3 years? I think so. I usually don't quit by now, but there's no chance of that happening because I really respect and appreciate and learn quite a bit from the discussions and the conversations that not only are had on the Remix Morning Show, but are had on Black Power Media across the spectrum. So I want to big up BPM out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Big up, big up. What's up, Steve Dub? Thank you so much for your super chat support. Steve getting it started early. See, I need to be shaking y'all down like Kamau. I need as I'm greeting everybody, I need to tell y'all to run y'all pocket. Okay, everybody, empty your pockets. we got a plate by the door. Just come on in and start emptying your pockets. Thank you so much, Steve, for your super chat support. You said from a white brother. Listen, we got white brothers. I should show y'all some of my cousins. Thank you, Steve. Listen, and I appreciate that, guys. And listen, I have to tell y'all, I mean, I appreciate all the support, all kind. I appreciate all the support. Please believe it. But when I get support and get love from our white viewers and from our white Fire Fan members, it's interesting because y'all know, I mean, I don't do this show for white people. I think that's pretty clear. But so the white folks that can stand the show, I'm like, oh, y'all some real ones. Okay, yes, come sit with us. Absolutely, have a seat. Because if there's no way a real racist could just sit in here. and and be quiet and be still. The spirit would be too deeply offended to go along with the shit. Again, that's why I have tremendous respect for the brothers that are in here as well. Because y'all know I do not do the show for men, but I do love men and I care about them and I want the best for them. So I try to say things whilst bombing on them, but hopefully that uplifts them at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Kim love the hoes. So anyway, thank you, Infinite Content, so much for your super chat support. What do you say here, Infinite? Oh shit. Oh fuck, come on, Infinite. What's up with these 4 3 line jounts? You said, yo, can you please talk about old struggle edges? Why? And I'm so mad that I even know who old struggle edges is before getting to the rest of your comment. Infinite, I already know who old struggle edges is. Was the edges struggling? I did not watch the interview. For those who may not know, those who may not know her by her nickname, Old Struggle Edges, aka Candace Owens. That is who you. I know that's who you talk about. Was on the Breakfast Club, and what happened to Old Struggle Edges? I don't fucking know. I don't, because I saw it was trending that she was removed from the Daily Wire for reasons I do not know, nor do I fucking care. And then I heard that she was on the Breakfast Club, where she was handled with relative kid gloves, was the impression that I was given. I have not seen said interview. I have no intentions of watching it. And when I heard about the tone of the interview, I said, well, of course. Why wouldn't Charlemagne and crew handle Candace Owens with her deep anti-black opinions and feelings? Why not handle her with kid gloves? Because they both a pair of coons. You know what I'm saying? Like, one coon welcome the other coon. And to be clear, I'm definitely sure that both of them, Candace and Charlemagne, would like access to the other's audiences, right? Come on now. We understand chess, do we not? I don't know about old struggle. All right, what else you say here about old struggle edges? Because the answer is no. Infinite. Getting fired by the Daily Wire. Why did she get fired? You know what? Let me not ask questions that I do not care what the answers are. That's her business. Candace is going to get replatformed very quickly. Someone's going to offer her a pile of money because of the simple fact that there's always an audience. Not only is there an audience, but let me be more specific. There are employers that will always find a job for a motherfucker talking crazy like Candace Owens. Like, these conservative blacks don't have an issue usually getting platformed in some way. And it wouldn't shock me if she actually ended up on someplace like a CNN or like a MSNBC, because these are the kinds of media outlets, cable news networks, that view themselves as objective. So they'll present both sides. So, Candace Owens, she's the other side. Man, Candace is a white ring and right wing extremist. I'm sad that we even know who she is. But it doesn't shock me that is who would get platformed on fucking somebody send some money. That's who would get platformed on the Breakfast Club. I remember one morning on the Remix Morning Show, we had a Jamu Baraka on, and he said Ricky Ryan should be featured on the Breakfast Club, and he's 100% right, because Ricky would educate and read them niggas at the same time, and has way more to offer to the audience than whatever the fuck Candace Owens is talking about. But would they ever invite Ricky Ryan? No, because Ricky's talking that pro-black liberation shit. What's Candace Owens talking? You niggas need to pull up your pants shit. I don't like it here. have I mentioned that before? I'm not a fan of wherever we are. I don't dig it. So hold on. Somebody just ran us $1 and I would like to thank them properly. Wish I could bring Pum back. Bitch, run that. Bitch, run that. Well, shit. I don't know who it was. Like, I do know who it was. It was Lawrence. They, them. Lawrence, you supported already too. And thank you. Thank you 2 times now for your support. Thank you so much. I don't think I shouted you out the first time, but let me do that 2 times. Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. for your Cash App support, y'all. $ BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or you can support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. Let me get into this first story, you guys. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel because this comes out of my home state of Maryland. I love it to pieces because it is all the things. It is all the things. So, Congressman David Trone. David Trone has been in Congress since 2019. David Trone is one of, I believe, the 20th richest members of Congress. His net worth is in the tens of millions. Okay. David Trone is seeking the Democratic nomination for the empty U.S. Senate seat. Okay. Now, in Maryland, because it is a deeply blue state, usually whoever wins the Democratic primary wins the whole shit, right? Because usually Republicans don't get no run. At least we know. I think there is only one Republican congressperson in the entire Maryland congressional delegation, and that's Representative Andy Harris, and he's an asshole. But you know what? They're all relative assholes in their own way. But regardless, okay. So anyway, so David Trone think he got the shit sold up because David Trone is a rich motherfucker, and he has already spent over $20 million in ads, I would imagine, on his campaign. David Trone has been running campaign ads since the November 2023 election, of which he was not on the ballot. Okay. The Maryland primary happens in May. And this motherfucker's been running commercials since fucking October. He has spent so much money, right? Because he got it. And as a result, he was leading in the polls. But enter Larry Hogan, the once two-time Republican governor who left office on a high note. He had very high job approval from Marylanders. Relatively happy with Larry Hogan, I guess. But anyway, so Larry Hogan has kind of been bouncing around since leaving the governor's mansion, saying that he might run for president. He might run against Trump. Republicans shut that shit down. They're like, no, thank you, Larry. Nobody wants you. No, thank you. So Larry said, well, fuck it. I might as well get into the Senate race because ain't no other Republican viable versus the whoever the would be Democratic primary winner would be. And so David Trone was actually doing pretty well until a couple things happened this week. A Washington Post University of Maryland poll came out, of which I'm going to tell you the results here in just a second. Not looking as good for David Trone as he once thought. But David Trone, while, again, a current member of Congress, and as you guys know, Congress is trying to stave off a partial, government shutdown because these motherfuckers can't count and and don't know accounting and, are just all around trifling people. So they're trying to stave off a partial shutdown of the government because they haven't passed a budget. So during a House budget meeting, Trone was speaking as a businessman because, again, he is a wealthy person. He owns, I think, the Total Corridor wine and liquor joints. There's several of those in the DC, Maryland area. It's pretty nice. So we're going to let's cue up that TikTok, Will. We're going to pick up Congressman Trone mid-thought at a House budget hearing, and he's talking about, his confusion over the way that Republicans in Congress are calculating, business tax revenues, etc. He's talking a bunch of capitalist mumbo jumbo that I'm like, but he talks about, P&L law, profit and loss statements. So this is where we're going to pick David Trone up, and he utters a racial slur, a racial slur, and it's unmistakable. You'll hear it. So, Will, if we could, let's go to Capitol Hill and listen to Maryland Democrats David Trone in this clip.
And the tax rate, that's after the P&L. It's never, ever once been a consideration. So this Republican jigaboo that, it's a tax rate that's stopping business investment, it's just completely faulty by people who've never run a business. They've never been there. They have not a clue what they're talking about.
Well, it's a short enough clip. Can we run it again? And hold on, as you're queuing this up, David Trone didn't miss a step. He didn't miss a breath. He didn't hear it in his head and say, "Oh, that came out wrong." He didn't flinch. His facial expression didn't change.
He def
Nothing.
he definitely says that after a couple of beers. He definitely says that after calling everybody a jigaboo. He probably called a cat a jigaboo. Goddamn jigaboo cat. Like, wait, that's yeah, all right. I'm gonna play the clip again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
play it again, play it again, play it again. Because I'm sorry, I'm not. When I tell y'all I laughed for 5 consecutive minutes, maybe I got all my laughs out. Maybe I didn't. But maybe I think that's why I want to see it again. Will, run the tape, please.
And the tax rate, that's after the P&L. It's never, ever once been a consideration. So this Republican jigaboo that, it's a tax rate that's stopping business investment, it's just completely faulty by people who've never run a business. They've never been there. They have not a clue what they're talking about.
So, Congressman Trone has released a statement, deeply apologetic, blah, blah, blah. I believe his office said that the word that he meant to say was bugaboo. This Republican, a bugaboo. But he said jigaboo. And it wasn't until just before we went live here this evening that I realized I actually don't know what the proper definition of jigaboo is. I am aware that it is an anti-black racial slur. Yes. But what is it specifically, right? Because like shit like pickaninny, like that's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an actual noun, right? So I'm assuming jigaboo is some sort of specific anti-black racial slur, but though I don't know what it is. Though I will say, as many times as I have been called a nigga by white folks, and not in the friendly way, not like "what's up, my nigga," okay? Like white folks have called me nigga with the hard R at the end. I must say, I have never been called a jigaboo. I've never been called a jigaboo, and honestly, I feel like jigaboo, it might be something that black people call each other, but I'm certain that was always not the case. There was a point in this country's probably somewhat recent history in which white folks felt very comfortable calling black folks jigaboos, and they did not mean it in the cuddly way.
I just looked it up, Kim. Ain't no definition. it says slur. That's it. That's the definition. Slur. It says what is it? Extremely disparaging, offensive, and a contemptuous term used to refer to a black person. That means we don't know.
So look up pickaninny. Look up pickaninny because
Picking any guy.
I think pickaninny is means something, right? Like pickaninny. Fuck. See, this is why we have to remember. We never forget.
Could you give me a spelling on pickaninny?
Ooh, let's see. Pickaninny. Let's see. I'm gonna say either PICK or PIK. ANNY? Ninny? NINNY?
Okay,
Pickaninny?
got one.
PICKA?
A
What you got?
small black child. Yeah, these don't have really they're they usually like there's no meaning behind them. They really just call us these things like, oh, that's just Tyler over there. They
Why you say my son though? Why is that?
I'm not specifically that Tyler, but I'm just like, yo, they using it regular, like boy over there. Like, oh, okay, that just
Hey, get them pickaninnies. Tell them little pickaninnies to get out my yard. Oh Lord. I could hear it. Oh, I felt all that shit just came up in my DNA. I had a flashback, genetic flashback. I was like,
oh
oh
wow.
shit.
It rolled off the tongue too well. Yeah, that's true. Let me get
Shit.
off here.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. Everybody. So jigaboo. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I know y'all like Kim. Why? Why does white people being racist tickle you so? Because because it does. Especially from these fake ass liberals who swear to God that they're not racist. And let me bring y'all up to speed here about David Trone. Okay. Now again, I don't know much about David Trone. And Apparently, the majority of Marylanders also do not know much about David Trone. In this poll that we're going to get to, not yet, Will, but the results of this recent Washington Post University of Maryland polls indicates that this Senate race is wide the fuck open. Okay, and David Trone was trying to lay a little bit of a foundation for himself with this media blitz. When I tell you that David Trone has about 15 fucking commercials in rotation, and here we are in March. November, November, January, February. This nigga's been running commercials for almost half a fucking year, y'all. It's crazy. And I want to play a couple of these commercials for y'all, just to show y'all that David Trone is trying to absolutely reach out to Black Marylanders and trying to shore up that Black Maryland vote. Maryland is what, 30% Black? It's a lot of Black folks here, especially in Central Maryland. Now, really quick, David Trone, I believe, represents Maryland's 1st congressional district. If we have some Maryland political experts in the chat, feel free to make yourselves known. But I'm pretty sure he represents Maryland's 1st district, which covers parts of upper Montgomery County and then up into Frederick County. And then it covers like the western panhandle of Maryland, which is it's very wide. It's not exclusively wide, but it is very wide. It's very conservative. That is absolutely Trump country out there. Okay. And that's his district. So it's not a lot of Black people in David Trone's congressional district, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't understand that he needs those Black votes from Prince George's County. He needs those Black votes from Baltimore City. And it is a formidable voting block of folks, right? And usually they vote Democrat. That's usually not going to be a problem. But anyway, just to give you some idea of the headway that David Trone has already made in his race, I would like to play you. We'll cue up the one from Hakeem Jeffries, the number 1 Democrat in the House. If the Democrats regain the majority in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries will be the Speaker of the House. And Hakeem Jeffries, oh, wait. Before I get into Hakeem Jeffries, let me also mention who is opposing David Trone in the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate. He's being challenged by a Black woman named Angela Also Brooks, who is the county executive for Prince George's County, where I live. So that is notable to note, as Hakeem Jeffries jumps over the Black woman to endorse the rich, wealthy businessman who is so far, I think, a 1 or 2 term congressman. So here is the endorsement ad ran by the Trone Senate campaign featuring, you're not going to see Hakeem Jeffries, but featuring Hakeem Jeffries' endorsement. Play and pay close attention, everybody.
Future Democratic Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, has endorsed David Trone for the way he served the people of Maryland. So here's Marylanders reading the endorsement.
David Trone has been a consistent and valued partner
to fix our broken criminal justice system,
eliminate barriers for returning citizens,
and root out systemic racism.
And he's worked hard
to create new manufacturing and tech jobs
in the parts of Maryland too often left behind.
Sign, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
I'm David Trone, and I approve this message.
See, there goes some of David Trone's Black friends. Now, here's the funny thing about the Black misleadership, right? Like, they will easily freeze out each other or stab each other in the back or not acknowledge each other to cozy up to a wealthy white, right? But it's like, this is how the Black misleadership ends up embarrassing itself because, sir, you have Hakeem Jeffries, that is, you have endorsed a candidate that has freely used a racial slur in the middle of a house session. Way to go, Hakeem Jeffries. But I want to show you another commercial, and this is not, trust me, David Trone ain't bought no airtime over here, and now I feel like a goofy that I'm about to show y'all two David Trone commercials. But I'm trying to show y'all that David Trone, at least from his media campaign, is definitely trying to outreach to Black voters that maybe he calls jigaboo when nobody's around. Now, Will got me thinking that David Trone has a black cat in his house, and the cat is named Jigaboo. So that's how That is how Jigaboo was right here, like right above his eyebrows. Like the Jigaboo was right in the front of his mind. That's how. Oh, I was thinking about the cat Jigaboo. God damn it. Anyway, but I will say this, and also for transparency purposes, I have not made. Well, listen, my dumbass. I'm about to tell y'all that I have not made a decision as to who I would vote for in the Democratic primary, but every election, my dumbass keeps forgetting that I'm a registered independent in the state of Maryland. Therefore, I cannot participate in the Democratic primary. So then I always end up feeling goofy myself for paying such close attention to the Democratic primary. Some shit I can't even participate in because the Democrats got this state on lock, and we do not have an open primary system here in the state of Maryland, which is bogus and it's bullshit. But anywho, what I will say about David Trone, Jigaboo comment notwithstanding, we might have to play that again because I find it so hilarious. The ad that we're about to show, I don't think I've ever seen a politician reach out directly to returning citizens, to formerly incarcerated folks. I don't know if I can recall seeing a political ad for a statewide office. And maybe I'm memory holding it, and maybe I smoke a lot of weed, and maybe I'm getting older and I can't remember shit. All very possible. But when I saw the returning citizens featured in this David Trone for Senate commercial, and I heard their accents, a combination of Baltimore accents, combination of PG County, DC area accents, I said, this is actually good strategy. This is a good demographic to appeal to. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with y'all. Well, let's run that Trone returning home commercial, please.
For 27 years, I was incarcerated.
Prison was very dehumanizing.
I knew if I built myself with information, that's something to be proud of.
The man will never change until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change.
Thanks to Congressman Trone, the Second Chance Act was passed.
I was part of the pilot programs. It had me feeling like a student and not a prisoner. It just kind of like melted the barbed wire fences away.
I had a 3.8 GPA.
I was a straight A student.
A person who receives a college degree while incarcerated is less likely to come back to prison.
I know when David was a businessman, he helped to ban the box and give recently incarcerated people a job. I think he sees everyone as human beings.
Once I realized I was going home,
I think David believes in second chances.
I'm David Trone, and I approve this message.
Whoo! That part of the commercial where the brother says, once I knew I was coming home, and then he can't finish the sentence because he's so emotional. I almost got choked up again watching that, because I think the first time I did see that commercial, like that part did choke me up, like, oh god damn. Ooh, them brothers been locked down for so long under some horrific conditions, possibly under some horrific reasons in the first place. So for David Trone to even acknowledge the population of, formerly incarcerated folks, I thought that was a good sign. I was pretty positive. I saw, is David Trone good white folks out here? Who can really say? So let me ask you guys this. I mean, does the slip of the tongue does the slip of the tongue simply disqualify, somebody from serious contention for, let's say a Senate seat? I'm gonna ask y'all this question. I'm gonna go to the chat. Will.
One strike, you out, buddy. Sorry.
Will, but what if the alternative is Larry Hogan? Donald Trump has said that he would. Listen, hold on. Let me ask you this. So David, goddamn, I'm getting all my whites confused. Donald Trump said this week that he would go along with a 15-week federal ban on abortions if he were to be elected to the White House. Right now, hopefully a Senate You know, we don't need senators from Maryland voting in favor of that shit. And I'm not sure Larry Hogan would vote against it, right? Like, so I mean, he don't think everybody's a jigaboo. David Trone, just the cat. That's what he should say. No, where is his PR person? But then people are going to ask, why'd you name the cat Jigaboo?
It has a black face. Black furred face. Everything else is white.
That ain't the answer.
Little bow tie.
I mean, Will, what are we gonna do? I mean, Angela also Brooks is a pro-cop Democrat. You feel me? Like, and to David Trone's credit, he has not yet run a cop commercial. He's run a fuck ton of commercials with the returning citizens. He's got one with Latinos in it. He's got one with the teachers in it. Like, he's got a union members, the Teamsters. Like, he's got a nice rotation of commercials. Not one coming from the FOP. And that's another reason I'm like, But Angela also Brooks is a pro-cop Democrat.
Yeah, get the crow cops out of here. I mean, I hear you. I guess we are, you need to send a check because you just endorse.
But I can't endorse him because he just dropped a jigaboo in the middle of the House committee. I can't endorse him.
Get called a jigaboo or, recidivism. Like, which one you want?
But why all right. Now I have to go to the white viewers. White viewers, why do white folks put us in these in these impossible situations? I am so tired. Now listen, you guys know I have lots of issues with the blackness leadership. I don't have not near a problem airing them niggas out, calling them niggas out, dragging them niggas, whatever. But god damn it, white people, it always comes back. It always comes back to the whites putting us in some impossible situations. So what do we do? What do y'all suggest that voters in Maryland do for our would-be empty Senate seat, which could be quite consequential as the majority, the slim Democratic majority, could grow ever slimmer if reliably blue Maryland sends a Republican to the fucking Senate. So it's either Larry fucking Hogan, who, might I remind y'all, never missed an opportunity to shit on and or kick Baltimore City every chance he got, right, as governor. I mean, just really, just ultimately horrific his policies were towards Baltimore, right? And not great policies statewide. But again, as I've told y'all before, why a political neophyte like Wes Moore, someone who's never ever held any political office, why would he be elected to such a statewide office, the most powerful statewide office in the state of Maryland? Because it's hard to fuck it up. You understand? Like, Maryland's economy, that is, relies so heavily on the federal government and its proximity to Washington, D.C. There's always money going to be in the state. Like, you have to really be a real fucking idiot to fuck this shit up. So anyway, jury's still out about Wes Moore, but back to Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan, an asshole, yes. An idiot, maybe not. He didn't fuck it up, right? He didn't do some great shit, but ultimately he did not fuck it up. So anyway, Larry Hogan, well, if you could please pull up that post-UMD poll, please and thank you. So this week, the same week that David Trone decided to drop Jigaboo, it came out this week. We don't really get that many statewide polls. Post University of Maryland, I think Goucher College does some polls. But anyway, this is the Washington Post University of Maryland poll. Indeed shows that right now, Republican Larry Hogan, former governor, is leading both David Trone and Angela Also Brooks in the polls, and leading them by double digits. The poll was pretty revealing. It goes on to observe correctly that most Marylanders don't know who David Trone or Angela Also Brooks are. Like, these guys are new to the game. Angela Also Brooks, I think, is in her second term as Prince George's County executive, and as the PG County executive, you don't have a statewide profile. You rep PG County, right? And a lot of times in Maryland, most people who do not live in the DC area like, don't come to PG. Like, Will don't ever bring his ass from Baltimore down to PG, except when he passing through. like it's wild, y'all. Like, people from Baltimore don't come down here a whole lot, and people from PG don't really go up in Baltimore a whole. It's really weird. But anyway, so no one knows who the fuck Angela also Brooks is outside of the national capital region, right? But so the Baltimore folks don't know who she is. And again, I told y'all, David Trone kind of represents bumfuck in Maryland. No disrespect to the Panhandle. Shout out to Hagerstown, Frederick. But nobody knows who the fuck that nigga is. So Larry Hogan stands a chance. And the National Democratic Party ought to be a wee bit concerned because Maryland has sent a Democrat to the Senate, 2 Democrats to the Senate reliably. You guys, I would imagine for at least 50 years. This is going to be unprecedented. Maybe not unprecedented as in not ever, but definitely unprecedented as in this has not happened in at least maybe 2 generations, in which the potential for a Republican to be representing the state of Maryland in the Senate could be a possibility. And it is a very strong possibility. And unfortunately, Congressman Trone worsened his chances today or this week with that errant comment. Now, again, David Trone came back and said that he didn't even know what jigaboo meant. Well, apparently nobody knows what jigaboo means because it's just meant as an anti-Black slur, right? But so again, I ask my white friends, like, what do we do with this? And Black people, what do we do with this? We cannot. I can't. If I could vote in this Democratic primary, could I pull the lever for a man who has jigaboo front of mind, despite the fact that he does or at least supports legislation that helps to broaden the skills and make life returning home simpler for people who are formerly incarcerated? Like, how do we judge him? Do I judge him solely on his policies? Do I judge him by his latent maybe latent Northeast liberal white racism? Because there's a lot of that, right? And that's another reason I think I wanted to bring this comment to the fore, because I was even contemplating bringing out some of Joe Biden's greatest hits. And I don't mean President Joe Biden. I even don't mean Vice President Joe. I'm talking about Senator Joe Biden. Senator Joe Biden used to speak some of that anti-Black shit with his chest. You know what I'm saying? You know, when he first was, I guess, approached with the idea of Barack Obama becoming president, you know, he gave that quintessential that white Northeast liberal, you know, racist, you know, pandering, that racist, you know, oh, he's very clean, very smart, you know, he speaks very well. Shit, is he a horse? You know what I mean? That's how I describe Bagheera. She's clean, she's smart, she speaks well. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden would describe it his inevitable boss, right? So anyway, this is the kind of weirdo shit that Black people who live in this region of the world. And again, are there more overt racists? Absolutely. there are racist whites in the Mid-Atlantic and in the Northeast who will say and scream that racist shit with their whole fucking chest. And then you got these Bamas like a David Trone or even like a Larry Hogan, who's another kind of like Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? These Bamas, they're of an era, I guess they still came from segregation and shit on some level, yeah. So I know they possibly and likely still hold views of inferiority about Black people and about Black communities, though they've had enough experience around Black people that they're not uncomfortable, right? Like, they're not scared of Black people. I don't think they could go up in well, they're not scared of the bougies anyway. But maybe David Trone's not even scared of formerly incarcerated people. Maybe he's gone out there and actually got mixed it up with the folks. I'm not sure. But I don't end this segment with any answers, right? In terms of what does it say about David Trone? If he called somebody a jigaboo, like he was looking at somebody Black and he said jigaboo, I think that would be important for context. For him to say that that he called, this Republican idea of the tax rate, etc., a Republican jigaboo when he meant to say bugaboo, maybe to me it's an example of, maybe not do so much when we freestyling, when we doing our extemporaneous speaking, Congressman. Let's be a little bit more mindful of using words that we don't actually know the meanings to. I don't know. I ain't got the answer, Sway. But what I do know is that David Trone has absolutely put his chances for victory in jeopardy. And the chance that Larry Hogan, a not good person, with not great policies, who, by the way, let me say this about Larry Hogan, because I remember when Larry Hogan was first elected, a friend of mine from New York said, is he going to try to attack abortion rights? And my response to my friend in New York was, oh no, he ain't crazy. Oh no. He's definitely a cracker. And he's a Republican, but this nigga ain't crazy. Abortion access is fundamental here in Maryland. And Larry Hogan, even as a so-called conservative and as a Republican, never tried to ban abortion or limit when people seeking abortion care could access abortion in the state of Maryland. Now, what he did do towards the end of his second term, the Maryland General Assembly had designated funding for expanding abortion access, meaning increasing training for, I think it was it doulas or midwives or so, increasing training for other people, other practitioners to be able to provide abortion care. And Larry Hogan refused to allocate those funds. He refused to disperse them. The money was just sitting there, and he refused to disperse it. But that's about as far as he went with his anti-abortion, activism from the governor's mansion. So anyway, you guys, this shit in Maryland could get uglier before it gets prettier. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention because if the institution is going to crumble, and apparently it's going to crumble from the inside, and it appears as though, white folks are going to take themselves out. I don't know. Politically, that is. I don't know what's happening. It's like there's a lot of unforced errors happening out here, and I remain in confusion. So we will revisit this as this saga goes onward. So there is that. Thank you guys for being here with your homegirl. Please give the video a like, a thumbs up. I certainly appreciate any and all the support that you all send. We really it really means a lot. We've been getting some new subscribers around here, so it's time for y'all to run y'all pockets. Oh, y'all new around here? Y'all been around here a couple times? Okay. Time to see some Skrilla. What is going on? What's up? Danae, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much going out to Cape Socialist, who is joining us from the continent. Cape Socialist. You see your cousin Elon out here. I'm sorry. I don't mean to put Elon on your family tree, but we got jokes around here, Cape Socialist. And it was you, Cape Socialist, who informed me that you was not of Africa. you in it, but you not of it. And that's fine. But as such, we love you and we thank you so much for all your continued support. But in order to get these jokes off, Elon is now your cousin. So what is up with your cousin Elon? Why does people keep asking Elon questions? Why the fuck does Elon insist on telling us his views on things? Why? I have nothing but questions. KJ Sakuna, what's up? What's up, Bags? You coming in or what? Come on. Come on, Bags. I didn't shut the door all the way. She can come in. But she's being a little turkey face. I don't know what she's doing. But Gary's doing well, everybody, for anyone who might be asking. I don't like to share all her medical issues, but but she's doing good. She's doing good. We had an issue with incontinence last week. Anyone that's ever had a geriatric mammal living in their home, you know, sometimes things start to slip, you know. But she seemed to got it together. She's had a good week, but she's doing well. She's doing well for a dog that is probably, I'm gonna guess, I don't know. She's November. She was 105, so it's March, where she's at least 110. Right? This dog's very old, but she's doing great. Doing great. I always send her the love that the chat sends. I always let her know. I'm like, Bakira, you got some shout outs tonight. And she wags her tail like, word, word. What was the other thing I wanted to tell y'all? Oh, don't forget, tune in tomorrow for Saturdays with Renee. I believe Renee's gonna have Jill Stein, Doctor Jill Stein, like an actual doctor, not like that shit, Dr. Jill Biden. Jill Biden got her doctorate in books. Jill Stein got her doctorate in blood. Literal blood. Got her doctorate in blood. So shout out to Renee. Shout out to Jared Ball. Shout out to Saturdays with Renee. Y'all be sure to tune in and check that out. I also wanted to tell y'all I totally pitched I presented you guys with wrong information last week about Kelechi Okafor's new endeavor. I'm a huge fan of Kelechi, the host of the Say Your Mind podcast, which she wrapped up. I hadn't listened to the podcast in a while. And when I went back to re-listen, I'm like, oh shit, she ended the podcast. But she ended the podcast in order to drive content or drive her listeners to her website, KelechiOkafor.com / kaleidoscope. So Kelechi's putting all her content behind the wall, which I'm actually here for because I think she's worth it. Like, so she's not posting new things on YouTube, I don't think. And also, I think, did she dead her Patreon? So anyway, she's charging folks £8 a month, which is like $10 US a month, and she's putting her shit behind the wall. And I'm like, that's actually really smart. that's actually really smart because, as I think I've shared with you guys, YouTube is a pimp out here. Google is a pimp out here. Patreon even is a pimp out here. Like, they take 25 to 30% like off top, right? So even though I am extremely grateful for any money that you send through any platform, some are better than others at making sure that we as the channel keep most of what you send, right? So all the Cash App joints, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and those joints, we get all, get all that. But shit coming through YouTube take 30%. Patreon takes a grip. So anyway, and this is just information I'm sharing. I'm not trying to guilt or direct, whatever you send, however you send it, thank you. I'm here for it. But I'm just saying, just looking from one creator, I suppose, to another, looking at what Kelechi is doing, I think it's actually a really good idea. And again, as someone who is a fan of her content, I think Kelechi is worth $10 a month. You know what I'm saying? I do. So anyway, I just wanted to correct my misinformation that I told y'all that she was creating a show called Meet Me at the Altar. That is one of a slate of shows that she is going to be offering at her website, KelechiOkafor.com. So if you want to tune in to a Black British babe who is a bad bitch presenter, okay? I love Kelechi. Love her take. I love her. I love her thoughts. I love the insults. Oh, creme de la creme. When she drags them, I said, "Wow, how this lady younger than me, and I'm looking up to her." She's incredible. So anyway, I just wanted to correct that. So anywho, is that Selberg? Big pun? Big pun. I ain't seen you around here in a while, Big Dave. Thank you so much for making some time. Come on through. Y'all say what's up to Dave Silberg in the building. What's up? What's up, 2Fs? What's up, Freddie French? Thank you so much for all that you do in the boo-foo. All right. Let me get into my next story here because, again, I guess this whole show is dedicated to the whites, right? And everybody lives in this show, which is great. That doesn't always happen here. Everybody survives this show, everybody. So what's up, Northern Witch? Um, I'm sorry. I have to get this pen away from me because I keep flicking it. All right, gang. So from Maryland to Missouri on the political roller coaster, that is the year 2024. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, burn it down with Kim Brown at BIDWKB around the interwebs. Okay, so I saw the story on the Riverfront Times. So hold on, before you pull up the Riverfront Times, Will, you can go ahead and queue up that little package that we have there on the dock because so there's a governor's race happening this year in Missouri. And I think the current governor could be described as a Klansman or at least a member of the White Citizens Council. Like he gives tremendous saltine vibes, right? As is the case in Missouri. And I've told y'all lots of times, I love black people in Missouri, even met some wonderful whites in Missouri. But I could never live again in the state of Missouri because it's deeply racist and you feel it. In every corner I've been in, you feel that shit. So it didn't shock me to hear that there was a candidate, a man in Missouri who was seeking the Republican nomination to become Missouri's next governor. It didn't also shock me to learn that this man was a quote honorary member of the Ku Klux Klan. What did surprise me is the fact that the Missouri Republican State Party wants to remove this man from the ballot. And I said, but when he represents so many of your ideals, like, what did he do? How could you remove this shining example of modern day conservatism off of the gubernatorial primary ballot? So I want us to pick it up with one of these TV stations in St. Louis, and this is very quick. And again, the information about all this was a bit scant, but I'm gonna do my best. But let's try to, let me try to explain. Actually, you know what? Too much. Let me sum up. Let my man on the TV sum us up. Will, let's go to the package.
In campaign 2024 news tonight, the Missouri primary is not until August, but tonight Republicans are booting a gubernatorial candidate from the ballot. The party tells First Alert 4 Darrell Leon McClanahan III filed for governor as a Republican, but evidence has surfaced that he is affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan. The party says this quote is fundamentally contradicts our party's values and platform. We condemn any association with hate groups and are taking immediate action to rectify this situation, end quote.
So the immediate action that the Missouri Republican Party for the state of Missouri, the immediate action that they have undertaken to rectify the situation is to file lawsuits. They have filed a suit against Darrell Leon McClanahan III, and they filed a lawsuit against the Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft because they want Jay Ashcroft, the Secretary of State, to permanently remove Darrell McClanahan from the ballot and try to make it so that he can't be certified as a candidate, right? Well, if you could pop up the article from the Riverfront Times for me, please. So let's check out the photo. because Darrell McClanahan is a self-described pro-white man who was a horseman, a politician, a political prisoner, and who has also sought office in the state of Missouri before. He ran, I believe, for Congress. He also, I believe, ran for Senate. He was trying to foster a write-in campaign. I can't recall, was it for his congressional run or for his Senate run? Regardless, this man is determined. He is determined to represent the people of Missouri in some capacity. And now he wants to be the state's next governor. But these allegations, and I don't even know if we can call them allegations, everybody, because it's been somewhat confirmed that Daryl McClanahan was made an honorary member of the Ku Klux Klan. He also admits to being in attendance at a cross burning ceremony. However, Daryl said, it was not a cross burning. It was a Christian identity cross lighting ceremony. Oh, 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 oh. I guess it just resembled a cross burning. It wasn't it was a Christian identity cross lighting. See, y'all got it fucked up. See, y'all thought it was racist. See, they was just lighting the tree with gasoline and flammables. What else has Daryl said? So Daryl has been in some shit. Now he got sued by the Anti-Defamation League, right? Which is credited with unearthing these photos of Daryl in front of this, Klan Nazi regalia, looking happy and, unseasoned. Kalechi goes in on the bad white. She always calls them unseasoned with the unwashed legs. Daryl hasn't washed his legs in years, y'all. I don't know if Daryl's ever washed his legs. Seasoning? Because anything beyond salt and pepper gives him indigestion. So, Kalechi might be on to something. So anyway, so the Anti-Defamation League sued Daryl at some point, and like I said, in a response to this lawsuit, all this is stuff I got from the Riverfront Times article, by the way. That that's where he described himself as pro-white. But the suit filed by the Missouri State GOP party says that Daryl has routinely posted racial slurs, anti-Semitic remarks, racially incendiary imagery on his social media. And they said that this is not consistent with their values. And I said, are you sure? Because you guys, like, Missouri has been the site in recent history of some of the most, notorious police lynchings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of Ferguson, of the murder of Mike Brown. I even think we're coming up on that pretty close here. The black folks in Ferguson and in St. Louis was ready to rock and roll behind all of this. And they were tamped down politically in many ways by the state Republicans, by the St. Louis county prosecutors, by the governors, whoever was governor at the time and who's the governor now. So I'm in confusion about the state GOP party saying that this man's racist. I can't speak to his anti-Semitism, but anti-black and anti-Semitic usually go hand in hand, right? Like usually if somebody is one, they are definitely the other, right? So if he's anti-black, he definitely is not a fan of the Jewish folks. I would imagine he's not a fan of any other folks besides the whites. So again, I am in confusion as to why they want to put him off the ballot. So here's the deal. So Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft for Missouri also is seeking to be governor. He is also on the Republican primary. From what I'm understanding, the Republican primary ballots, I don't know if they've already been printed up, but somehow Daryl McClanahan has landed himself atop of the Republican ballot. But the primary is not till August, so I'm not sure how those two things have gone together. So Jay Ashcroft says that he cannot unilaterally remove any candidate from the ballot. It would take a judge's order. It would take a court order in order to do that. So that's why the Missouri GOP has brought this lawsuit. They're hoping a judge will find in their favor. And they claim that or rather McClanahan being allowed on the ballot as a Republican violates the state GOP's First Amendment rights and 14th Amendment rights. It'll be interesting to see how this gets played out in court, because if the man has reach the number of signatures or whatever the pre-qualifiers are for him to be on the ballot. And if he wants to run as a Republican, if he is a registered Republican, if he has voted as a Republican, don't walk away from your homie now. State GOP. You know what I'm saying? You was counting on Daryl's votes all these years. Daryl's probably been a very reliable Republican. Why don't you want him to run on the ticket? If he identifies as a Republican, if your party is the one that he, as a pro-white man, a self-described pro-white man, who, as the state GOP party has described as racist and anti-Semitic, but he identifies with y'all. He's been voting with y'all. Why y'all want to separate from Daryl now? I hope Daryl wins his lawsuit. I hope Daryl is allowed to be on the ballot. I don't know if there's been any polling as of yet amongst the would-be Republican gubernatorial candidates, but I'd be curious how Daryl's polling. I'd be curious if Daryl gets some money sent his way. I couldn't find a lot of Daryl online. There is a website, not a website, a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Missouri Battlefield or Missouri Battle Flag, that Daryl is sometimes known for recording his phone calls with members of the press. And there was a couple of those videos up there, but none of them were too recent. I am just impressed with the resilience of the very racist whites to make sure that they maintain a toe or some sort of foothold in political power, right? And it's not to say that the whites that we currently have in both parties are not deeply racist and yes, maintain that stronghold of power, but that there are even those to the right of them, right? That want in, or rather I should say want back in. They want back in. They want to return like their grandfathers and their great grandfathers who were active members of the Klan and white supremacy groups and were freely elected senator, governor, mayor, town council, whatever you want to call it, like the virulent active whites that would, attack physically Black people, not only physically, but with their policies. I mean, that is who has run this country for overwhelming majority of the time. And I look at like Joe Biden's liberalism and his racism as not that far off than whatever the fuck Daryl McClanahan is talking about. Biden's just not showing up to the Christian identity cross-lighting, right? But he will sit across the aisle and backslap with those who do, right? So there's not that much daylight between Daryl McClanahans and the Joe Bidens of the world. That's it. I don't even think I have that. What is there to analyze? What is the analysis here? What is the analysis? It is. Are we at the lesser of two evils always? Is it the David Trone version of lightweight racism, or is it the heavy-handed racism of somebody like a Daryl McClanahan? And by the way, who has not ever held any political power, so he has not been able to enact harmful policies against whole communities. That has been the job of the likes of Joe Biden and his ilk, right? Vote locally, you guys. That's all I can say. Get out and vote. But no, vote strategically, vote locally, vote for the races that will have the deepest and most consequential impact, not only on you and yours, but your community. And these state races are absolutely those. These governor races are that. These local races are that. Again, Maryland finds itself somehow for the first time fucking ever as a consequential Senate election, right? Which never happened. So anyway, I'm gonna have to wrestle with all this. I've got some wrestling to do internally. So anyway, I'm just sharing the info, gang. And with that, my Negroids, my Mongolians, my Caucasoids. all of that's all very expired sociological language, is it not? They don't do they do the Negroid, Mongoloid, and Caucasoids anymore? Well, anyway, all of our descendants from the Caucasus Mountains, all of our descendants from the continent, all of our descendants from the indigenous peoples of the Western Hemisphere. Shout out to all the Aboriginals in Australia. We love y'all, man. Leah, thank you so much. I appreciate seeing you here. You guys, what was the other thing? Maybe wasn't no other fucking thing. I don't know. Y'all be safe out here in the weather. It's supposed to be bad weather on the East Coast. Cape Socialists, collect your cousin. Go collect your cousin. He's a menace. I wish motherfuckers would eat. How come no one's trying to deport Elon fucking Musk? Riddle me this. Riddle me this. We have all these people at the southern border bringing their amazing culture, their experiences, their food, their skills, and people is actively trying to prevent them folks, like genuine contributors to this country, trying to stop them from coming in. But fucking Elon Musk, nobody ever says, how come we can't deport Elon? Well, let me put it on the record. Can we? Why are we deporting? Can we deport some of the worst? And starting with Elon fucking Musk, put him on the plane first. Put him on his private jet. Don't even send him back to South Africa. Don't put that on South Africa. South Africa didn't ask for Elon or his ancestors. Where is he from? Like, where does this whiteness originate? Denmark? Who was the worst person from? Was it Denmark? God damn it! Who was that terrible person? Who was Leopold? Yes, Elon strikes me as a descendant of King Leopold. Where the fuck was he from? Send his ass right the fuck back there. Europe? Europe, we are sending your things back to you. Because Elon may have been born in South Africa. We're not putting him, Africa has been through enough. Send this motherfucker back to Europe where he belongs. Alazarine, thank you so much. Truth, justice, love. That is what you always deliver to us in the chat, Alazarine. I certainly appreciate your support. Thank you so much there. I'm going to start the campaign. It's going to be a hashtag, y'all. Deport Elon. That means I got to get back on fucking Twitter. Ain't this a bitch? That's not really what I was trying to do. But you know what? In the interest of the greater good, Stren, you feel me? In the interest of the greater good, y'all, we may have to hashtag deport Elon. Because Elon thinks he's welcome. You know, if the people at the southern border are not welcome, if the Mexicans, Central Americans, the Haitians, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, if them folks are not welcome, why the fuck should Elon feel fucking welcome? If we're doing up hostility towards immigrants, then let's do it. Let's do it. Let us do it. Let us be at that Tesla shareholders meeting and let us voice our disapproval for the takeover of all these fucking migrants, mainly the whites. With the ones with the whites and the whites. Let's talk about it. Migrants coming out here fucking shit up. The migrants. Anyway, y'all know what migrants I'm talking about. Don't let me find out some Ukrainians done committed some fucking crimes, y'all. We putting them on the Summer Jam screen immediately. Immediately. The same way that anytime an immigrant commits heinous crime here, you know all about it. Don't let me find no Ukrainian fucking slipping out here, shorty, because we gonna make their deeds well known. So anywho, I'm out, kids. I want you guys to have a good, safe weekend. I want you to try to get free as soon as possible. I want you to not call the police on your people. What else do I want y'all to do? I want y'all to wash your hands. Lucretia Williams said, hydrate. I think that is excellent advice. Walk your dogs. Be nice to old folks. Still don't pass J's. We still in COVID. I'm still not passing J's. So that's the extent of my advice, and you're welcome. Thank you so much to Will and Male. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned in and everyone that will tune in later. We will see y'all back here on Run It Down with Kim Round come Tuesday. Big up to Black Power Media. Big up to Status Quo News. Big up to Infinite Content. Big up to Crip Hop Nation out here. Big up to Kelechi Okafor, KelechiOkafor.com. Big up to Darker Than Blue on WPFW.org. Hosted by Jackie Lukman and Sean Blackman. All right, y'all, I'm gone. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Y'all be easy.